Hey kids, welcome. It's Mark Miller here. Roy's going to be joining us in a little bit. We're picking up on where we left off, I guess, 2 days ago. Oh, here comes Roy. Boom.
Hello.
We're in, man. You did it.
Yeah, little worrying there. 3-4 reboots, nothing happens. 4th reboot, machine says it wants to repair itself. I decide to turn it on and off once more, and just miracles occur, and it just works so far.
Oh, yeah, I've had that. I don't like that. That's not my favorite when that happens.
It's very worrying.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, today we're going to have, another episode of, that's what that's what we bring to the table, kids. Brute force.
Oh yeah.
And ignorance.
And if you look really carefully at Mark's forehead, you'll see an indentation from his desk where he's been slamming his head into the desk in an attempt to make some of this stuff work.
That's what we're going to do. And somehow, between, 2 days ago and today, I can't build anymore. And
Really?
And I'm kind of like, wait, why can't I build? That doesn't quite make sense to me. Let me do this.
Well, hang on. This is not what you had. Well, it might be. When I last looked at this screen, those last two projects had a 2 suffix.
Yeah, I renamed them this morning.
It's just a rename. Okay.
Yeah, I already had this. I want to go in and I'm going to drop the font size in my options piece. I keep wanting to. What the? Who's here? Brandon's here, kids. Boom. Get a nice dark background there. You can see the Dev Chatter logo.
Good.
Brendan S. from Dev Chatter's here. Yeah, sorry, Brendan, I didn't see those. I moved on to a different problem, and since I'm live streaming, let's postpone what you were going to help me with later, because I think it's something else. I'm not ready to go after that problem right now today, so we'll have to do it another time. Yeah, thanks, Brendan. Ping me again, that'd be great. Thanks so much. So anyway, here. So what I did is I essentially. I don't have an explanation for why we're getting errors now. It's clearly seems to indicate there's a version problem. But if we come in here and look at the paths here, I said I was going to go in and go into my options. I think it is output window. Cool, better. So I can now see more.
There we go.
So what's interesting is some things, custom board asset data, is that us or not? Hold on, let's go back. I hit what? Key to drop my font size. Those are going to demonstrate. I was going to go in here, drill into this. Well, that's our stuff. Hold on. Like creature stat. What's creature stat? There we go, from metadata. So some things we're grabbing and getting from the Bouncy Rock TaleSpire data model, and it's coming in. Other pieces that did compile 2 days ago are no longer compiling.
That's really strange. Well, remind me, we are referencing, shall we say, DLLs from...
Yeah, but look.
Are they copies or are... we've gone
copies.
to... We are going to copies.
Yeah.
So they're not changing underneath us or
They
anything
shouldn't
like
have
that.
changed at all. And so I'm kind of like, what? Wait, was it an illusion that we got to compile 2 days ago?
We definitely had compiling going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. And so now this is not the case, and I'm like, huh. Now, here's what I've done since. I have installed TaleSpire locally on this machine. It was not here before.
Yes.
Is it possible they put these DLLs in the GAC and somehow we're getting those even though we're specifying a direct path here and somehow grabbing that instead?
I was of the opinion we would get the local ones first. if they were present, and then it would go to the gap. But it's been a long time since I've worked with that mechanic, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm pretty much the same thing. Well, so my thoughts are this. Let's go out to this path. Let's make sure we get the latest DLLs here. The corresponding to the latest install, which I updated like just I think this morning or yesterday, right? So they put out a new piece. So this is my local TaleSpire folder. These are I've got my plugins in here.
Mm-hmm.
These are the plugins that I downloaded, the sample plugins, and I've got this app here. And this app doesn't work anymore where it was working before. Yesterday, as I recall, I think it was, or 2 days ago.
Yesterday, anyway, you were having some more stuff was working. We were no longer going over the network, so we'd eliminated firewall issues. And as a result, you were getting past the connection, but we had some further issues when it came to actually sending a command.
And just to be clear, when we say yesterday, Rory and I did meet yesterday for some time. I had a meeting that came up at the last minute. I had to jump off to, so I didn't live stream. But Rory was online. We were looking at just the problem of the socket communication. All right, so this is the folder right here.
Yeah.
And so the question is, let's go find the new stuff and get it in, is what I think we want to do. And I guess my goal for today, Rory, is this.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I want something compiling, I want a plugin loaded, and I want the real true API, whatever's currently available.
That would be really good, wouldn't it?
I want to see something, and I want to be able to work off of that and use it. And, if they've killed a whole bunch of things, which it looks like they've done, we'll have to maybe find workarounds or, to do what we want to do. But one of the
Did you see my message yesterday? Again, we weren't online. There is, for this socket plugin, we have a socket UI that we build and the plugin itself, which kind of sits in TaleSpire.
Yeah, you were suggesting
on the linked thing. Yeah, only because that will prove the half of this that is not our code is still working.
Yeah. I don't have the other machine started, so I don't have any way to really test this on the other machine without restarting the live stream, which, so you can be right back when you start that up.
I think you could do it locally in theory.
Oh, okay.
Because you can telnet to localhost, for example.
I see.
It's just a theory. It's just that if we're trying to connect to something, it might be useful to know that the thing we're trying to connect to is still working.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I say we get a compile first. I say we try to figure out...
certainly that's required for our system to work as well. That's definitely another pretty obvious requirement. Right. So, yeah.
And so now I'm at this point here, and, there could be some other crazy thing that happened, like maybe a using got removed or something like that, but I don't think that's what we're dealing with. Right now I've got board asset data. If I hit control space on it, it wants to change it to custom board asset data, which is not what that was. If I hit control dot, is there any kind of add using? No, doesn't see it. So board asset data used to work, and now it is not working anymore. So my thoughts are, let's go find the DLLs. Let's hook these up. Basically, what I want to do, I'm just to show you what my focus is on here today. I'm going to unload everything. I'm unloading you. And I'm even going to unload you, because look at this, modding utils just has moddingutils.cs, but it's the same file as this one.
Oh, I see.
Kind of interesting, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's weird that they didn't just reference it from here, but I'm going to say even unload you. So I've got everything unloaded but the socket API and the socket API GUI.
Okay, that should reduce our number of errors at least.
Yeah, I don't like how everything's uppercase here, because I always read this as socket a pig UI. But yeah, so I just want to get this guy right here compiling. That's what I want to do.
Sure,
if I say, sometimes with hope against hope.
Hey, clean succeeded at least.
I do a clean and come back in here. I want to review all these errors before we do anything. Let's just review all the errors. Make sure there's not something crazy, but I don't think there is with regards to references. All the references here, what's it referencing? Let's go find it.
I always like what you're doing here. I like that we use the output window rather than the errors list, because when you look at the output window, it's fairly reasonable to start at the top and work down, but
Right.
the errors list can get sorted out of order, a project or file or whatever, and you can spend ages fixing errors which would have gone away on their own for much simpler reasons.
Right. Yep,
Yeah.
I totally agree, Roy. It's a great point. I'm just looking through the uses right here, the references. I mean, I got newtonsoft.json. Newtonsoft.json, that's one of the things we changed on the way down. We upgraded it, I think, to 12 across the board. Use some Unity Engine stuff in here, but these errors aren't related to Unity Engine. They're all seemingly related to these bouncy rock pieces out here.
Yeah.
That's what they're related to. So let's just double check that. We'll review in the output. Can I pull this out easily? Go full screen. And so just looking down on the left side here, they're all the same. They're all in this file modding utils, it looks like. So we can go do that. We got a whole bunch of typer namespace namespace not found. Missing a director to an assembly reference. And that would be actually really cool if we found out that they just moved this.
See, that's what I'm in favor of that, because that would suggest that they're getting more organized, they're partitioning things well, and it is a simple fix. It's just a matter of which simple fix.
Yeah, and that's it. That's essentially what we've got. Basically, the typer namespace not found, and then we've got some conversion ones that are they're a little more worrisome, because it's like, wait, what's happening? Now this to this, I'm okay with that. That looks like we can figure a workaround for that. But I think I saw some other converts in here where I was like, there's some work here. This is worrisome right there a little bit to me. This is worrisome right there. There. So, but hopefully,
there's other stuff here, like the type creature manager does not contain a definition of add creature. Oh, okay. That feels a little. That's like the type is there, but it's been altered to not work in a particular way.
Yeah. Where is that one? Where do you see that one?
I think it may have scrolled off the bottom slightly.
Oh, okay.
But broadly speaking, I'm seeing things to do with boards and creatures, and that could give a hint. That could just be, okay, fair enough. We need to go and find a DLL whose name suggests that kind of thing. I mean, right out of the gate there, the asset management kind of is the closest we've got, and maybe it used to be in that.
It's the crash. It's the crash.
Oh, not that crash again.
Yeah, it's when I dragged the window in. I've reported this two times to my devs. I think both times they were like, yeah, I don't think that's us. We're not in the call stack.
We were in a position, I want to say about a month ago, maybe a little more, where you had this on air and I reproduced it myself. All you had to do was to drag the find window and attempt to dock it somewhere, and everything died.
Yeah, that's what
it just wipes out Studio.
Yeah.
Now, I've since upgraded to what was at the time the latest Studio, and it all went away. I was able to do that again. But I think you've done that as well, haven't you? Relatively recently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What do I got? I have this version, 16.7.3.
I haven't got a version loaded at the moment. Let me see. Come on. You can load.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I upgraded it just not too long ago.
Without code. Nope. Out. I am running 16.9.2.
Well, okay. Maybe it is something like this.
Locally, at least. I don't use this one that much either, so I don't know. Possibly not the best time to upgrade, however, on air. But yeah, that might help.
I wanted to find add creature because I think that's what you're talking about. Add creature. This is a command. It's a command. I'm looking for an error. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Creature manager. What do we got? We got an add. So this is a little worrisome to me now. Right, I look at this. I'm like, okay, we used to have a method called creature, add creature in creature manager. Now here's a possibility.
Feels like a good place for that.
Yeah, it does. So then I'm like, okay, well maybe they've just renamed it to add. Creature manager dot add. Okay, no, not there. What did they do? I got to delete
hang on.
creature.
Up a little. I saw something. Couple entries up. There. Create and add new creature. Is that maybe
the same? Let's see what the. So what do we got here? Let's try it.
Creature data, position, and identity.
What does it need? Creature data, position, Rotation. Sweet.
So maybe.
That's it. I'm going to say yes to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that all the way through, I think.
No.
Also,
no.
why
Our luck doesn't run like that.
rough bounds info dot. No suggestions on that. So I used to have a bound size here. Excuse me. Client dot. Do I get a bounds? No. All right. So we fixed one issue. Maybe. Is what we did.
52 left to go.
It's not bad. It's like a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Okay, since we're kind
Nearly
of
1% done.
taking over on this, what did you say?
I said nearly 1% done.
Yeah. I want to change the search. Right there. Okay. What's this? Seat string? Can't navigate to that. Can't navigate to this. What's bad? What is bad? Board asset data.
Well, I'm hoping that siege string is just a typo got corrected to search string. That would be nice.
Yeah, no, that was a local one I renamed. Yeah, board asset data. We can't find that. So we need to find that. Let's go to the DLLs out here. I think I got a folder out here. So these have not been changed since 2 days ago, but for some reason, like I got like these crazy suspicions that something is afoul, something is amiss here. So we're in coders. We've got a decompiler.
Where was that directory you were just looking at, Mark? What was?
This is
because there are 3 of those that have been changed 4 days ago. There's an 18th of April, which is recent, but maybe not recent enough to have caused this.
Yeah, I think that's because I updated and then copied and moved them in. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, these 4 are all bouncy rock, right there. You go back to
it's just one of them's data model, which they've changed the structures.
Yeah, I want all my bouncy rock ones to have the same date at least. Let's go find them. Let's copy them in and let's work with that. Before we do that, let's create a folder here called originals, just in case we need to go back and look at these.
Sure.
Original bouncy rock DLLs.
I mean, to some extent, I presume that as time goes on, they're going to update their DLLs. They're going to have adjustments to their API. And realistically, we should be targeting what they're actually deploying where possible, so that we're aware of those changes. Because otherwise, we're going to have a communication with a thing that isn't there or is different to what it expects to be. And that's only going to cause chaos.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Do we like chaos on this show, Rory?
To some degree, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We do. We totally love that. All right, so I'm going into Steam right now. Going into TaleSpire, local files, browse. Now, what do we think? Data? Where does it keep its DLLs?
Managed.
Managed. There we go. Look at these dates. 422. Boy, do those make me happy. All right, so I'm going to copy all of these guys. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to, notice I'm not using all of them. I'm only using 6 of them, and there's 10. I'm going to throw all of them at it because I'm thinking that these things may have moved. They may have moved things around a little bit. That's going to be my strategy. So,
well, you've got 2 facts. They're all bouncy rock. They're all intended to work together. So having more of them than we need is probably not a problem.
Yeah.
And as you say, we increase the sort of space that we're operating against and increase our chances of hitting the things that are missing.
Yeah. Let's see what happens now. Oh, what's this? 2 errors? Okay. So,
well, that's still many errors less.
Many errors fewer. Wait, no. Wait, hold on. I've still got 52 errors.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It says IntelliSense only, build only. No errors from the build only. Wait, what?
So that just means IntelliSense is less convinced and hasn't caught up.
Build in IntelliSense, 52 errors, build only.
has none. IntelliSense only has 52 errors. What's going on?
I mean, in an ideal world, those two really shouldn't disagree with one another.
I'm going to unload it and reload the project. Just see what happens there. And then let's do a rebuild. What do we got? We got a bunch of errors again. Okay. All right. So that did not solve it.
So you
correctly.
copied the DLLs, but we aren't necessarily referencing any more than we were.
True. So I say we start adding some references. Is what I
Cool.
think we start doing. Here we go. Browse. You're gonna put me in some crazy folder that means nothing. Are you? Is that true or no? Oh no. Look at
Well,
that.
that's
Wasn't
not too bad.
I'll take it. What do we got? Let's see. Package runtime.
You can probably guess the ones without the green ticks
Yeah,
are
you
ones that you didn't have before.
What here?
You've either got that in a Dropbox.
Yeah, these
folder,
are.
yeah.
I think these are just.
So-
it's Dropbox serializing them. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help out. I think.
Okay.
You know what I kind of want to do? Is I kind of want to do this.
Pick all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to stop this. Hold on a second. I want to delete all of these. I want to just
Sure.
delete them. And let's go add the others. Let's go add all the bouncy rocks. There to there. Okay, add them. Okay.
And
Now-
all the errors go away because it's all perfect. Or not.
No change. It seems, right? What's my error list? 52? Still got 52.
Okay.
All right, so what are we dealing with here? What's our next strategy? Well, we could do.
Well, we could still be missing usings.
Yeah.
They could now be in different namespaces and stuff.
Let's go find that air shoe and see if we can solve that problem. I want to go to. What's going on here?
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand this.
No.
Okay, so back up here, board asset data. This is what I'm looking for. Board asset data. Let's see if I get any help with control dot. Nothing, still with control dot. We have got a class explorer, don't we? Is that right? I've never used
Yeah,
it
I
before.
was just thinking that. Is it like Control or F2 or Shift? I forget what it was. You can probably get to it via
It's a
class view.
view?
That's the one you want. Yeah.
Okay.
And we can do a search. But that's only searching our stuff.
Is it?
Well, it looks like it is. What happens if you double click or
Hold
right
on.
click one of our reference? Oh,
I think
hang on.
I think we'll be able to find something else.
Okay.
Board asset data. We got. Just hit enter.
Board asset data common, that first entry. Modding utils has a custom board data asset.
Maybe that's it. Board asset data common. What if I control space now? No, it wants to change it to the other one. Let's change it to common. Board asset data common. And let's add whatever we're using. Asset management. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's drill into it. Name, description, group. Is GM only, is deprecated. Okay. What are we doing inside here? If we change it to there, do we get errors or does it work? Oh, we get errors on everything. So it
I was going to say, I don't remember it having a values, which is a shame.
doesn't look right.
No, I feel like we've gone the wrong way there, haven't we?
Does not look
All right, well, what about the other option, the custom board asset data? Is that just in our code?
Yeah, it's only in our code, so that doesn't make
Okay.
sense. Yeah, what's our call? Where are we getting it from? We're calling it. Let's look at that a little more carefully. Let me move this over here.
Oh, are we going to crash?
Only if you dock it.
Starting up a new instance. So this is fixed, we think. Look at this weird situation here, where they just Visual Studio's like, yeah, okay, I'm starting up a new instance of Visual Studio.
But it's such a fundamentally basic thing to do, right? Dragging and dropping a tool window. I mean, we've had this since, well, before .NET, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got the room I wanted. I totally forget where we were headed on this.
Board, asset, data, something.
I wanted to see the call. So we're doing a get field on, and even here we're kind of messed up. We can't even work there. All right, we're going to have to be careful not to dock here. We're going to make this work. All right, we'll keep it there. Board asset database. Not found. Just to make sure it's not in anything here. I'm sure it's not. Let's go through the entire solution, do a find all. Probably just have references to it as my expectation.
So I just did a Google search for TaleSpire board asset data, and something happened that I have never seen before. Google gave one answer. Just one. And it happens to be a 9-month-old blog from Bouncy Rock, but even when my thing is really rare, I see, there's these other things that are vaguely like it that, you might be interested in.
Yeah, look at this right up here, board asset database. I think I'm feeling like I'm smelling a dead end. Is what is kind of what I'm feeling right here. This is old code, is what it looks like. So it looks like this has been, so I'm feeling a dead end in this. And what I want to do now is I want to be like, okay, that's exciting, Mark. You found a dead end. Now I want to hack and cut and delete and destroy is what I want to do. So what I think I want to do is I want to make a copy of this, I think, and paste it in. Can I copy linked files?
Oh, right. Well, I haven't used linked files in a while.
Yeah, no, linked files are not
Makes
bad.
sense to do it here, yeah.
What happens if I do copy full path? All right, what I need to do is, I guess I got to come back over here and reload the project. That's where the original source file is. Copy it there. Whoops. No. All right. Right click. Copy. Right click. You're going to contain. Okay.
Try pasting it into a folder.
I'm going to rename this first. Is what we'll do.
Okay.
I can't rename it because it's linked file.
It's a linked file. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. All right, so I'm going to paste it into this folder instead. We'll get there. Where's my paste? No paste? Come on. Copy. Paste.
There we go.
Okay, so now we're going to call this one the old one, I guess. Original. Oops. Yeah, I know that. Oh. It's funny a little bit, isn't it?
Chastise one character and then decide, because you got this one character wrong, we're going to put you right back where you started.
Right. Let's look at properties for this thing. Let's say do not compile. None. Okay, no action on this guy. Now modding utils, we're going to go crazy in this guy. And we are going to hack away everything that doesn't work. That's what we're going to do.
Sure.
Okay. Knockdown. So knockdown is a function that I think knocks the creature down. Calls creature.knockdown. I'm going to just do this. If I see a problem, I'm going to do that. Returns a string. I'm going to just say return an empty string. What do you say? Okay. There's knockdown. Done.
Watch me solve all these errors. Play
Yeah.
emote. Guess who doesn't need play emote? I don't need play emote. And it returns a string as well. Fine. Here's a string. I've got your string right here. Okay, we're going to keep going. Start move. Do I need a move? I don't really need a move. I just need to know where they are. Ultimately, my needs are relatively simple. So we're going to comment out all of you. How many errors do I have now? Have you ever seen error fixing going so quickly? It's 44 errors.
It's amazing.
Now. Are you impressed?
It's
my
truly
skill set?
outstanding, Mark. Your skill knows no bounds.
Okay, there we go. This is good. I'm glad no errors apparently in Start Socket Server. I'm a happy man. There we go.
That's
Keep
a
going.
good thing, yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. What do we got? What do we got? What's this right here? Misspelled word? Okay, gotcha. All right, what is this one? Add creature. Yeah, I can go without an add creature. I don't need
Is that the add creature we didn't have before?
No, this is... No,
Different one.
This is
Okay.
local. The add creature we were looking at was, I think you're going to see it. Oh, it's called a drop. How interesting. Yeah, all of this is a mess here. What's interesting though is it looks like, aside from the fact we've got really bad parameters, if we did this, I bet this whole method would compile. So we just got to figure out those parameters. That looks good. 32 errors. Oh, I'm so good at programming. Get creature assets. This is the one we have.
one that we're actually calling.
This is the one we need. We need this badly, badly, badly. This is the one we have to figure out. For now, I'm gonna comment everything out. I'm gonna get rid of this, I think.
Is this
Anything
currently an
valuable?
unmodified method, or have we
Yeah.
modified some of this already?
No, I haven't touched it. It's all...
So it's deliberately referencing custom board asset data before we got anywhere near it.
Yeah, it looks to me,
Okay.
based on what I've seen in the code, is it's essentially a transfer of their information into the local information. So this
Okay.
this to here is what it's looking like to me.
Sure.
So, does class view let us search for properties in class view? I wonder if that's the case. Is it only clear search? Can I look for this, for example? I feel like I want to bring up what's this board asset description? Look at that. Custom board asset data. So this one is custom board asset data. But didn't we try this and we saw, we had a bunch of errors down here?
We had...
Or is it, wait, did we try this before we brought in the new DLLs? Is that what it was?
Not sure.
Could this be our magic? Now board asset database, we're gonna have a problem here. But now, look at that, and it looks they've renamed search string. It looks like they fixed this. What you got for me? You got a search string in there? There it is. Sweet. So they've fixed that spelling error. This is great news. I love that I can search for properties up here.
So what's the method we're calling that returns this
It's
dictionary of board asset
it's
data?
get field.
Oh,
Which
okay.
returns what looks like is a field info. Which, is this really reflection? Is that what we're doing here?
I can believe that. In order to get into...
Yeah.
If they haven't actually made an API, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what that means then is we need to look inside here. Custom asset data is where? What DLL is that in? Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, not that. Not you. Custom board.
Board asset database?
No. It's custom board asset. Wait. Oh shoot. Oh, I was tricked, guys. I'm sorry. I was tricked. Custom. I found everything I said was based on a lie. Going backwards. You got to go back. When I did a search for board asset description, we found it, but we found it in our own
Stuff.
I think.
Yeah.
Modding tails, modding tail utils. Yeah, it's in our own stuff. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so kind of good news and bad news there. Mostly bad news. Let's go in and let's see if we can invoke something I almost never invoke, which is our decompiler. How do we get our decompiler up here, kids? I don't remember how to do this. And I don't see an option for the decompiler up here. Windows?
Is it in a
There it
window?
is. Right there.
Windows?
It's right here. Yeah, Windows decompiler. It's down over here. I think I got to load up that DLL. I don't think it's going to automatically, and remember not to dock because we don't want to dock. What do we have here? Just some basic DLLs out here. So I want to load up the bouncy rock ones is what I want to do. I want to get all of you guys. Go. Come on in. I'm going to pause syncing on Dropbox too as well. All right. Now with these guys in, can we get anything cool? Can we find, for example, board asset description? Nothing? Do I have to select an individual piece? I thought it would just do everyone. Hold on, let's look for okay, it's working. It's working very well. Okay, I just have to type in something it can find. What is it? Board? Okay.
Board asset data was, I think, the first thing we were looking for.
Yeah, it's only got this common one here. And inside that, it's got a description group. This is all the stuff we saw in IntelliSense. Not what we want. So it's not a board anymore. Is that what it is? We've got a whole different, but why can I search for description? Let's search for the word description, see if it'll find everything that's got a description in it. Description. Yeah, that looks like it's totally, they're all type string. It looks like it's finding them all over the place. So
Okay.
what that means, that's good news. So board asset group, name and type, they're all kind of asset group. Yeah, they're hard. There's nothing unique in here to search for, right? If I just search for group,
Lots of things with group.
Yeah, but you know what we can do? I think we can unload these.
Mm-hmm.
Let's unload all the ones that are not here, so we get rid of some of the noise.
Okay, that'll help. Yeah.
I can't multi-click on these. All right, hold on. I want to report an issue. Code rush, issue start. Okay, devs, take a look at this. I've got the decompiler up. I want to delete all of these. I can't shift click. There's no multi-select. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I hit delete, but watch what happens. It's gone, and now I've lost focus. I can't delete the presentation coordinates. I can't hit down arrow. I try tab key. Nothing. I have to manually click, then hit delete, then manually click, then hit delete. It's kind of painful to do that. That's the issue. Okay. It's off to the side here. Let's work the end of the issue. Decompiler UI on delete. That's what we need to fix there. Okay. Dog food and code rush kids 5 days a week.
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing here. Okay. Yeah, I've never needed the decompiler, at least not aside from regular testing. Okay, back out here again. Group. Okay, so now we're limiting our we've got creature data, placeable data. I wonder what this means. This must mean it's private or something like that if it's got a dash in front of it. Board asset data common. Well, hold on. Let's go back to the code here a second.
So we've got a group there. Do we have a description in this guy? Let's go look back over there. Sorry, I'm dragging stuff up and down and all around.
So we've got a description and an
and
description, a
name.
group, a name, and a type is what we've had.
We don't have a type.
No type.
But
Is there a type in the base?
No.
Oh, that's pretty low level. Okay.
Board asset type here. What are we using board asset type for? It's a string.
Knowing it's a creature.
What are we using description for? Nothing. Just holding it. I'm now inclined to think this is board asset. Hold on, be that value. Board asset data is what I think. I think this board asset data is now. I'm starting to think it's board asset data comment. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. What does creature data inherit from? There's just a little lower down. I'm wondering if they got a little bit more strongly typed as they were going along. That's just a value type 2, so it's not coming from this. Okay.
Creature data, it's although interesting, has a group. Does it have a
So some
type?
similar stuff
Does
though.
not have a type. You know, that's actually really interesting. What do I do? Can we see my descendants here? I don't see how we can see my descendants of this. What's analyze do?
That's the one. So base types, extension methods,
Usages?
instantiated,
No
and
usages.
usages. I think this suggests that there are no derivative types.
Yeah, that would be my
Because I
way
think,
as well.
yeah.
All right.
See, I wonder if they started with an API that said, okay, we're going to get some board asset data, and these are just objects of some kind that are on the map. And they've moved to a more specialized mechanic where you don't just get all the things, you have dedicated methods for get.
Yeah, you know
creatures.
what I kind of want to do is I think if we stop this, we're going to be able to find out about this data that we get back from here. Like right now, we're doing this kind of very specific, saying, hey, we know what this type is here. But really, what I think we should do is what we should do is we should just call get field. Well, although we do need this, we need to know the type here, the board asset database. We need to know what that thing has now become. Let's where's my compile? It's over here. Okay, let's go do this. Let's go see if we can find that guy. What are we calling it? Asset database?
Okay, that's something.
It's a class.
A UI asset. It's an interesting one. I'd say UI, whilst it can be things on the board, I'm thinking of it more as the 2D thing slapped on top of the 3D thing. Sort of the heads-up display kind of thing, but I don't know if they've...
Yeah, no, I'm with you here. Hold on. Let me drop the get field call to the next line. We should also look up lookup. That's what we should also do. We should see if we can find this guy. Let's see if we can find this guy. Because if we can find that guy and that guy's inside of here,
yeah, that's true.
that would be... Oh, that's maybe good. We got a lot, actually. Maybe
First
not
one is
good.
of a similar type.
Show me, what are you seeing here? The volume manager?
Well,
What
look at the
is it?
first item.
Oh, it's a
Yeah, but I'm looking at
dictionary.
the pattern. The dictionary of nguid to something, which is kind of what
I
we had
see. Sweet.
coming back.
All right, so we're looking for a dictionary of something to like. Oh, dang it! I wouldn't
Did
mean
you
to
just
drop
dock?
it. I didn't mean to do it. I just. Son of a. What the? Yeah, I'm fine, honey. I'm good. Everything's. This is normal programming that happens.
Oh yeah,
Rory's like, oh yeah, we make sounds like this all day.
it
This
really is.
This is what you do when you're really smart like me.
Really? Is Rory? Rory, are you betraying me? Is Rory lying to me right now?
Are you lying to her, Rory?
Rory?
Rory, you son
No, I'm
of
just
a...
empathizing
I've never.
with
He
Mark.
says, I'm just empathizing with Mark is all. Okay. And he says in a voice that's, All right. Okay, so we said Windows, decompiler. Will it remember?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Oh, she's coming in, kids. Look out. There she is.
Hey! She's watching
She
us.
says, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, kids. All right, so we got to...
I have no doubt whatsoever.
all right, so let's delete. Let's go add. Come on, Bouncy Rock. What secrets do you have for me? Okay, we were looking up lookup. Right?
Yes. We were
Underscore lookup, and it felt like we were getting close. I was like,
Yeah.
look at that.
We're
'cause
seeing
yeah,
a pattern that is familiar.
but I can't move this left anymore. It's weird. Why would you stop me from doing that? I'm going to call that a coders issue as well. Hey kids, I just want to move this to the left. I can't even move it left or right, it seems. What? I don't even understand this. Do I have to make it much bigger? Okay, now can I move it left? I can't drag this left? What's happening?
Locked to 50%.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't move it left or right. I can't move this up or down. Oh no, I can move this one. Do I have to click it first? No. I can't move this guy. That is a big issue. Figure that out for me, kids. Alright, let's mark it. Cannot resize. How about a horizontal splitter? I guess a vertical splitter. Not sure we name it by its arrangement, vertical splitter in decompiler. All right, put that out there in the chat. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, back over here. I want to see more here. Okay, that's interesting. They've got, it's not just lookup, but there's state lookup too. So there's only two with lookup that have only the lookup name. Hide volume manager, game settings collection. Neither of those seem related.
Neither of those feel like they're right.
Right, to what we're looking for. We're over here in modding utils. Let's go find lookup. Radical changes have occurred here, it looks like. So, board asset database is gone. Board asset data is gone. Let's keep looking down at these, see what we got here. This one's interesting. I just can only make this wider. I got something called datamodel.board.
Okay.
It returns, it's giving me back an int though. Sector lookup, not quite what I want. I do kind of want to look at this thing. Constructor, get sector, returns a sector, try get sector. What's in a sector? You got anything for me? How do I get to that sector? Do I have a quick, fast way to drill into that? No? All right, we're stepping away from lookup for a second. Sector? What you got for me in a sector? Nothing that looks obvious like it's what I want.
No. This feels like it's more, I don't know, geography based, so that you have a very large map, but you want to load pieces of it at a time.
Yeah. Got get creature data, get creature list from edit parent. Do I have like get creatures? Get creature. Can I put an S on that?
It's a get creature list, but it's from something I didn't recognize.
So get creature list.
Yeah.
From edit.
From edit parent. There you go. Not sure what that is.
It's a list of
And it's
creature
only
lists.
going to give you back a creature GUID.
I'm gonna go with that for now. Let's try. Let's see if we can get to that. Get creature list. Is that ours? From edit parent. Is that what we saw it was?
Yeah, I think so.
That, and that was in. I have to go back up in the decompiler again. All right, get creature list location. What does this dot dash mean? I'm interested to know what that is. It's in UI Initiative Manager.
Okay.
I don't know. That's not feeling good. Sort of like is this from doing turns? Switch creature. Yeah. It's not feeling good. This feels like a battle initiative thing. I'm backing away from it. Get creature. Go back to get creatures.
Okay.
I want to get creature data. That's kind of what I'm looking for. The
Yeah.
this returned just the GUID, so I still need something. I need to get something to get the GUID. There's that
Now it's interesting. Get creature data does take an NGUID,
Yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah. I don't know what it is, but I wonder if it's a numeric GUID in just a number. All right, try get creature data. Creature GUID. I need something that says give me all the creatures on the board. Attack target creature. Ensure and get creatures. Board info.
There's a get creature there, which is on a creature board asset. At 5 down from where you are. And that creature board asset is repeated very near the bottom with a creature loader property as well. All creature assets, that's quite nice. So we need a
That
creature
looks-
presenter for that.
Where do we get a creature presenter? Where are you? How do we find a creature presenter? Um, okay, that's not helpful. I think it's
No.
no, it doesn't seem immediately helpful. Wonder if I can dock this without dragging it. Let's see that.
Interesting, yeah.
No.
Ah,
Okay, cool.
no crash.
All right.
We like no crash.
Creature presenter. Do we have a presenter in here anywhere? No files. Match. I really need I don't want to do a new on this. I really want to find it. I want to be able to get it. I was hoping the analyze would be able to do that. Is this what it was? Get creature list. What did we find in here? I forget what it was called.
It definitely had the word creature in it.
Down below.
All creature assets, 2 up from where you are.
All creature assets.
Interesting. Not actually
Yeah, so we
there
have
in
to
an
use
obvious
reflection.
sense.
Yeah, we have to use reflection to get to it.
Yeah. Mm.
The question is, how do we get the real... This I don't think is going to help me just creating a new one. I need to get the...
No.
You know, assuming it's a singleton or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the scenario is that we have a running copy of TaleSpire, which is running with our plugin injected into it, and our plugin can then effectively query the natural state that things find themselves in. So presumably we put TaleSpire in a situation where it's loaded a world,
Right.
yeah, a set of detail, and now what we need is an entry point into that. Now, we've said before that get creatures seems to be like the designated way of doing it, because presumably that gets to make assumptions about where it's going to get those creatures from. But since we can no longer call that, we have to kind of rebuild something.
Yeah.
Our understanding at least.
Yeah. Let's go look at the original code and see what they were doing. What did they do? They had a singleton, I think, that they were going into. So I'm gonna this is my kind of spelunking over here.
So the theory was we were going to reach out and grab this board asset database, and from it we were going to get a lookup object. That lookup object was going to be cast to a dictionary list of NGUID to board asset data.
They're getting a
and we were going to iterate through the values of it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. Look,
You're
they're
right.
getting a
It's
static.
a
It's a static on the class. So basically, and the reason this is important is because it reveals the style in which the developers are building this. So that's, I think, a huge clue as well, is that we are looking for essentially a static property on a class. Their original static class was called board asset database. So I kind of want to go back over here. I want to keep through. Let's see if we can find something like that. Do we get anything with database? Got an effect database, a day cycle database, UI asset database. I don't know if that would. I would put game stuff in something called UI asset database. Yeah, this looks very much for UI assets. So no. So action timeline, yes. So there's nothing here now. So the name is totally changed.
What about that first entry that is just database of T?
Well, but it's an atmosphere.
Is that what all the others are inherit? Well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and so you got day cycle effect database. Yeah, this is for the atmosphere stuff. TaleSpire supports. Timeline, yeah, atmosphere. It's all in the atmosphere. So, no. Go back to creature. Creature board asset. Could creature board asset be the static class?
Maybe. Well, we were going to a type which had a static method or property, didn't we? A field. So within this type, we should be looking for a field.
Yeah.
Because the flags are passed to the get field.
Yeah, it was lookup is what this was before. Board asset database is what this thing was called.
Static non-public.
I'm not sure how to tell if something is static here.
I'm not sure either.
There's no hint on this piece either to see that. There's a decompile though, isn't there? Is there a decompile?
I think so.
It says this item cannot. Do I have to click up here? Item cannot be completely decompiled. I wonder why that is. Yeah, I think that's going to be useful to me. Yeah, I'm feeling blocked here. Even if we look at the types here. So we're looking for basically something that matches the pattern, like a lookup kind of thing, but there's nothing here. Just a list of lights, these kinds of things. So no, not feeling it with creature board asset. Creature presenter we were looking at before.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this, which looks to me, based on the lock right there, to be private. Okay, creature presenter, all creature assets. I can't tell if it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. What I want to do next is I want to use reflection. Is what I want to do. So I want to do.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's come in and start with type of creature presenter dot get let's just start with that. Let's start with this, and reflection will be able to, what are we returning out of this thing here? A string? Okay, so I'm going to do that. We're going to throw some old stuff. And we're going to return string here. All right, so now our goal is to basically just come in here, get a freaking breakpoint here, and see if we can find anything that is interesting.
Okay.
Get creature data. Was this changed to something different and easier to spot? You know, I've hacked into a lot of stuff across multiple versions. I've never seen anything change to the degree that I've seen these changes occur. Like, there's so many renames and restructuring pieces.
Yeah.
All right, so get creature stats. We're going to just do this. And return string. Okay. All right. Yeah. The more I look at this, Rory, single builder board tool.
Yep.
Where are you? Are you even there? Do you have anything like it?
Okay. I've just been looking around trying to get copies of the... It's interesting that the plugin stuff seems to have only been modified, let's say the source of what you're looking at, has only been modified in the last 10 to 12 months. There's not been anything more recent in the various GitHub repositories I can see.
Interesting. Here, take a look at this. There's builder board tool. There's two of them out there, one for slabs and one for tiles. So cool.
Okay.
Go back over here. I would call this the tile builder board tool. And how are we doing there in terms of compiling? Does it work and like everything there? That's the kind of change I can deal with, right? That one is a happy change for me, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I know what my problem is. Bounds is gone. I was looking at this earlier, and I don't know. I got rough bounds info. But do I have anything that looks like size? I got a combined bounds. Do I have a size on bound? Oh, I got a size in there. I'm taking it. I'm going to take it. Before I take it, though, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to undo the whole thing and just kind of say, here's what it used to be. Okay. So we're going to say, that's what we want. This is what it used to be. Okay. All right. Yep. What else we got? 21 errors still. Kill creature. Guess who doesn't need kill creature? Be absolute. Oh, it's just the error message, it's Code Rush. Or it doesn't have get creature data. Accepting. Come on. Where'd you put? Ah. Let's go look at board. Board is of what type board? Okay, fine. Let's go over here. You got anything for getting a creature back? Legacy data model version 4.
Ooh.
Get creature
Nothing
data.
obviously in there though. Oh, did you see what?
It was get creature data is what we're looking for. Sorry. No get creature data here.
No, nothing obvious there. You've also got a board in legacy data model.beta.
Yeah, this one feels better.
Ooh, proper version 0, 1, 2, 3. Interesting.
No.
Okay.
None of that.
So that smacks of mechanisms for loading and saving a board to disk, and then, okay, loading legacy versions into the current one. So they can evolve their mechanic.
Yeah. I love that we have derived types here, but okay, nothing's derived from it. So that was like hopeful for a second.
Yep.
I like these methods too. Upgrade to version 1, 2, and 3. Those are cool. I got another one in data model, which I think we've looked at already. No base types for this, as I recall, or no? I forget message handler. Yeah. It's just some object. Yeah, nothing. That's just the interfaces. These are internal classes to it, or internal enums. Okay, change kind to serialized approach. It's got a lot of methods in it, though, which I do like. It's got a lot of things that look like they're useful.
They're quite promising, aren't they, in sort of abstract terms?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I know the developers' names. I want to go look them up, look up their phone numbers, and call them. They're in Ireland right now. I think Scotland, Ireland. Some of the.
I'll just go knock on their door.
Just get up on your roof,
close, right?
Rory, and shout out.
Yeah.
Someone, they might be living close to you. Okay, I think we're, I keep having a hope to get out there. What is it? Select next player control. I don't know what that's doing. I'm going to do big fat no thank you on that. And we're just going to return this string. Okay, what do we got now for our count? 12 errors. Select player controlled by alias. Guess who doesn't care about that anymore? I'm now at a point where I just want to get the thing loaded and get to that point. Send out a bounds message. Move the camera seems to work. Set creature stat by index. Yeah, I think they've decoupled, but they haven't decoupled in a way that where I'm like, this is for set creature hit points. I don't care about that for right now. Does that return a string? It does. Set creature stat. 5 errors. Excuse me. All right, here's update speech. I think this is so that the creature can say something. That's kind of cool. Bubble text. Sweet. We'll work on that later as well. We'll get that thing working if we can. What do we got? 4 errors. Where are you? Select creature by creature ID. One error. Returns a void. Okay. 0 errors. 2 warnings. Yeah, okay. I'm aware of that. So get creature assets. We want to call get creature assets. That's what we want to do. So let's try build of this. Build succeeded. Let's just double check that we're building to the right folder as well. Here's where we're building, right there. Let's go look that up and make sure we see that fresh new DLL in that space. There it is right there, socket API. Okay, so that's got a nice one. Next, we want to build this guy right here, which is going to use that API, I think. That should build as well. So it looks like it says build succeeded. And let's go look at its location. It's going to bin debug. I don't want it there. Interesting, I thought I changed that. I want it to build here. Socket API.GUI. So let's do that. Save it and build here. And there it is right there. Okay, let's start up TaleSpire. And let's run from here so we can have breakpoints and things like that. Get creature assets. Got a command coming in here from this. Get creature assets. Let's see if we can, let's just make sure we've got. Where are you, TaleSpire? I'm hitting Alt Tab and I don't see it. There you are. Screwing me, I should have set a breakpoint earlier to make sure that we could stop in the all right, let's run it. Oh wait, not running. We're already running, right?
We're running the plugin by virtue of TaleSpire being running. And are you running the exe?
Okay, so starting up here. Okay, cool. Get creature list. Okay. I want to get into the mod is what I want to do. Connect. Connection is maybe working. Ooh, this one we saw yesterday, Roy. Remember this?
Yeah, we did. It spends up to 3 seconds just trying.
Yeah, we didn't get out of here. Oh, this may be our block. This might be like stopping us from getting out there. Yeah, sender never becomes available. Socket never becomes available. What is the workaround for that? It is still a 0, right? Yeah. Socket never becomes available. C#, I don't know. Can you help me with this? It never connects to the server. I think it's very specific to the code, the source code they have up here.
Yeah.
I don't know, Roy, what do you think? Think we walk away?
I tell you what, I'm invested now. To let me show you how far I'm invested. I'm currently downloading TaleSpire. I bought it on Steam just so that I can get a copy. Yeah, I'm going to be messing with this tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I have like a firewall issue on my machine that's somehow stopping this connection from occurring. Because when I when I run it standalone, I don't have the problem. Not with my build, but with the other. I felt like they did have a connection before at one point. Sorry, what do you want to say? Yeah, so we get no data.
I don't know. I feel like it's this case of when narrowing down where the problem is sort of a binary chop logic, isn't it? You've got to say, well, okay, let's test this point, and if it works, it means the problem's over here, and if it doesn't work, it means the problem's over here. So I'm inclined to wonder, can we communicate with the Socket API plugin, but without using the Socket API GUI? GUI, yes.
All right, you want to go for that? You were talking about Telnet.
This was the Telnet plan, yeah.
Yeah. How do we do that? What do I need to do to make that work? Is my question.
So it turns out I did a little bit of this on my machine. I didn't have TaleSpire at the time, so I couldn't follow through. But Telnet doesn't ship as a part of the default installation of Windows, but it does ship with Windows. So it's one of these add feature facilities.
I have a friend, Coding Girl is here to help out. Is TaleSpire listening on a local host port? I don't know. I don't know how to tell. I don't know anything about that, Coding Gorilla. Look at me.
So Coding Gorilla, we're cheating. So what's happening here is that we don't think TaleSpire is listening at all. We're totally cheating here. We're using a facility called BepInEx in combination with something called Harmony, as suggested by the plugin that we found effectively on GitHub. And what we understand this to do is because it's, I think, based in Unity, the combination of that sort of hijacks the runtime. We're kind of both sides of this. Our plugin is going to receive our socket communication and then do things in TaleSpire on our behalf. So we've got a socket API GUI and a socket API plugin. The plugin it's ours in the sense we have the source code, but it seems that almost overnight the APIs to which we're actually trying to communicate have changed somehow, and that's caused a lot of the code in the plugin, which we thought we had compiling before, to have changed also. So we've now minimized the amount of code from that we're actually using. We've commented out huge swathes of things, and we're now just hoping to get a connection. But logically, we are connecting from our exe to our compiled plugin, and it's just not really working.
Yeah, what we're trying to do right now is so if you look at, I think it was in the Form 1 code right in here. It's called a send message that fails.
Yeah.
Jump inside there.
So the Socket API plugin does it listens, doesn't it? Is it port 999?
Better be,
from wherever.
Because that's what we're using here. If we go over to modding utils, it's probably over here. No, it's not. That's where we put. The cool thing about this though is, if I do that, we should see that version number change when it loads up. Like at the very least, let's just do that as proof that we're actually loading this up. So
that's good. Yeah.
I just did a build, but I'm not sure I can do it while it's loaded. Coders had an awesome plugin architecture in Delphi days, where you could rebuild it would sense the rebuild and reload it. Okay, so one more time. Rebuild. Hey, I think somebody's here, but no evidence. He's always sneaking around.
You just got that feeling somebody's watching.
Yeah, get that feeling.
It's that guy.
Yeah. Okay, I rebuilt that. Let's restart. Look, I'm looking for a small little gain here. I'm looking for somebody who says, hey, we're using 1.5. I'm looking for that version number to show up here in TaleSpire.
Yeah.
When we come up.
That'd be great.
I just want to...
Something to prove that we're not completely insane.
I don't know if that's going to do it.
Partially, maybe, but you know.
Yeah, when I see my group of therapist scientists, they're like, well, do you see the version number? There it is, 1.5.
There we go. That's us having an impact on TaleSpire. That's a success.
Yeah, so we're inside. It's loaded, and we're inside. Socket API plugin is coming in at there. I'm going to change this to Mark's Super Cool plugin. Mark's Super Cool Socket API plugin.
That's right. We might not be able to get a lot of success, but we can certainly stroke the ego. That's fine.
No, I'm just while the rest of you are solving all my problems, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, we're going to concentrate on the important
stuff. Coding Gorilla is like going to be like, well, Mark, here's the thing you clearly missed. I'm going to just start up. I'm waiting for it to start up to see that. Here we go. Going best loading. We're going to see that. The Mark Super Cool. There you go. There it is.
There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome stuff.
So that's in. So we know that we're loaded inside. That's not bad. Oh, yes. You know what I think I can do? I can do this, Rory. Check this out. I can get to where I need to be. I don't need anything. I don't need anything to work. I just want to get inside.
Oh, can you debug the running version of the plugin?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to totally do that. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to get that code that we had, which is what. Let's go find it. Get properties. Finally, I feel like I'm doing something smart now. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to call this at the right spot. Is what I'm going to do. The right spot is probably going to be here.
So you're going to pretend like the communication came over some sockets.
Yeah, I'm not even going to care about it at this point. I just want to get in and get some data. Is what I want to do, and I want to get data inside.
Let's get some data directly.
So I want to do this. I think I called this my startup project, and then I have to do something else for the run on this, and I forget exactly how that is.
It's you wait for something else to instance. Yeah.
Start.
Where is it now?
External program. I think that's what I do, right there.
Sure.
I want to start the external program. Or maybe I want to...
Are you going to have it start TaleSpire?
Yeah, I don't know if it can do it or not. If I can
well, actually, you can probably attach to it whilst it's running as well.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about that await call. It's going to happen as I'm explaining this. I'm worried about the awake call. So I'm going to try this right here and see if that does it. Let's save it. External program can't be found. You want no quotes. How about now? That looks better. Okay, let's run it. See if we get a breakpoint. Okay, I see TaleSpire window on the other machine. I can't drag it up yet because it's still loading. And it's not really responsible. It's loading. Just waiting for a breakpoint here. Come on. Come on.
Well, loading in this manner is inherently slower. The studio tries to monitor any number of things.
Here we go. Looks like
maybe not that much.
Shoot. I was hoping to get to that breakpoint. So awake is not called automatically. Is this a Beppin thing? Do we need to look up Beppin stuff? to see what the heck's going on here with that.
I don't know.
Update is also in here. I suppose I could set a breakpoint for update. Base Unity plugin, Awaken update. Let's search for this. Base Unity plugin, Awake update. What you got? Yeah, it says Awake is called once. Once when both the game and the plugin are loaded. Yeah. Oh.
Well, I mean, arguably, do you remember how Code Rush had a mechanic, certainly in Classic, where the first time you ran it with a plugin in place, it would sort of scan the meta of the plugin, and it would record details about it, such as when it was trying to load and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But successive times, it wouldn't necessarily call it unless it was appropriate. So just because you've seen text referring to 1.5 on screen doesn't mean your plugin's actually been invoked yet.
All right.
It's just it's previously looked at it and knows some meta about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. That I get what you're suggesting, but I just don't think they're doing that based on what I've seen.
Okay.
Right, my psychic connection with the team says that's unlikely to be happening. I've got now an update.
That's fair.
One thing we've changed is we've got breakpoints on both of these. We now have a breakpoint on update. Maybe there's going to be a breakpoint called there.
It would be nice to see some kind of entry point, yeah.
Yeah. Well, got the updated piece here. Nothing. Nothing. Loading up the game.
Does Studio admit to being attached?
Well, I think it does because these are showing
in the debug
normal.
menu?
How do I? Where's another way of checking that?
Well, normally, you see, you could attach if you weren't already attached. I guess that would be debug something.
Yeah, so there's a detach option here. So we seem to be attached.
Okay, so that suggests it is attached. Okay.
We could try one more thing. We could try a static constructor on here.
Yeah. Screechrat asks, what are we working on now? Well, that's an interesting one. You may or may not have seen us mess with TaleSpire before. TaleSpire, from what I can tell, is a third-party facility which you can buy on Steam and is used for the construction of kind of world maps or encounter maps for Dungeons and Dragons. You can build the static structures, but you can also place and maneuver the creatures, the players, and other entities that you put in there. And of course, this makes for a fantastic visual if you're going to do some Dungeons and Dragons, like some guy I happen to know from the internet, right? And what we're doing is ultimately when we manage to, we're hoping to connect with it. It's not designed necessarily for this, but we're hoping to use some plugin logic to connect to it and issue it instructions. So effectively to allow, let's say, the chat room to control some aspects of what's going on within the game, much in the same way as we control drones or whatever. Also, some Stream Deck things will be able to be hooked up in a similar fashion. So this is going to basically further enhance the Dungeons and Dragons experience. Just, you know, once we manage to connect to it and tell it to do anything at all.
You know what now I'm doing? I'm like just brute forcing this. I'm now like saying,
okay,
screw you to everything is what I'm doing. I'm like I am not loading up as a plugin. I'm creating a console app, and I'm just going to call it Explorer right now. We're going to throw it in that modding TaleSpire piece right over there. And yeah, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to go in and add my, we're going to add our references right in there as well. We're going to solve this problem
So
just forcing
you're
our...
writing a console app deliberately referencing the DLLs that we're interested in so that you can do what now?
this line of code right here so that I can then explore. We're like 45 levels deep, I think, into what we were trying to do. But I wanted to see the properties on Creature Presenter because we're trying to get a list of all of the pieces in here is what we were trying to do. So I'm going to just set a breakpoint right in here, and we're going to just make this our startup app. And we're going to run
So
it.
this is because whilst we could look at this through a decompiler or a class library, that viewer, that sort of thing, this will give us access to running data, which,
Right.
effectively edit and continuing our way in, and it's extra context that you can't see from the static not running version.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got, what do I have?
Okay.
I have 10 properties on here in the call to get properties in here. Where's my name? All creature assets is one of those properties. That's kind of interesting. Oh, but it won't give us stuff because we're not connected to the game though. So I don't know. You're right. I guess I was like, well, it just occurred to me I could get here, but is there enough information here where I can actually get what I need to know or not?
See, the difference is we're in a context of our own here rather than running in the context
Yeah.
of the game. So, sort of, but sort of not.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know. Let's just. Game object is interesting. That's definitely a Unity thing.
That's a Unity thing, yeah.
All right, so what's really interesting is, okay, so we are able to finally execute that line of code and explore it, but it's useless to us without being inside the same space and being able to connect with it. What's really remarkable
Yes.
here is in the socket API plugin, this static constructor is never called, which means it's grabbing this without ever creating a new instance of this. Or maybe it's creating a new instance, but it's doing it in a way that somehow bypasses the static constructor. Right? Like if I do I didn't think it was possible, but maybe it is.
I wasn't sure either. I mean, that is a bit strange, but it also suggests that, none of that code is running. So if none of that code is running, then how did the plugin ever expect to be communicated with?
Let's add system Windows Forms and let's throw a message box in here. Just to verify that we're, you know what I mean? System Windows
Yeah,
Forms.
that's a pretty blunt way to check that we've got here, all
That's
right?
all I have
think
left.
that's fair.
That's all I have left, Rory, is blunt ways to check. Windows.forms, is that what it is? There it is right there. System Windows Forms, go. Message box dot show is what I'm looking for. What, really? No? No message box? There it is right there. Okay, good. Message box dot show. We are finally freaking here. I don't think that's how I spell freaking. Let's try that. Freaking here. All right. Now we're going to switch back. Make this my startup project. When we start this up, this is going to start up TaleSpire.
And this is definitely outputting to the TaleSpire. Mind you, we've seen it, haven't we? We've seen the version increase and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It is being called. We're just not getting a breakpoint.
Okay.
Why not Visual Studio?
That's
What-
something.
Do we have debug
Yeah.
options turned off here? Is that what's going on? What's going on? What do we?
Well,
What's
that's an
going
interesting
on?
theory.
Yeah, I don't know. Debug. Where's my? Is it in my build? I don't remember where my options are. Define debug constant.
I think there were some where you started, but they were referring to native code and SQL, so that doesn't really apply.
build events, debug. Is it possible they're making a copy of the plugin and loading the copy?
Oh,
And is that why we're not seeing this? Because we're not actually being loaded.
that's entirely plausible. Shadow copy.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Like, I
Well,
would consider
okay,
doing that if I was doing plugin architecture, because then that allows somebody to replace it, and then you can go say, oh, it's been replaced, let me load it in.
Yeah.
Maybe VS is attempting to debug
So
it as native code, says Coding Gorilla.
Maybe.
Well, isn't, like, is it...
Where's
Go ahead.
Where's the part of the socket API that actually is supposed to do the start listening? You know, it's listening for us. That's our static constructor that we've made, right?
I figure
But there must be something
this
here.
call here to initialize gets it set up in the awake call. I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw in,
Yeah.
as long as we're here, awake, and might as well throw in an update since we're not going to get breakpoints working right now. I can work with that. You want to throw me into caveman days? I can do that. All right, so we'll do that for a second. I just want to see that we see the awake, and then we see, okay, so we're finally freaking here.
The next steps as we get out the punch cards.
And now we get awake, so awake is called. Now what's cool is here we could actually start sending out data. We could find a creative way to send data out if we had to do it. And TaleSpire's window's unresponsive. I'm waiting for that to finish. Oops. Update just got called. Hold on. I'm trying to drag it. But
So you could actually use the message boxes as a cunning way to pause. Okay, execution. Then you could, instead of running, so what you do, this is a bit crazy. So you don't launch using Studio, right? You launch just TaleSpire on its own. It stops because of the message box. Then you attach to the running copy of TaleSpire, thus attaching to the real plugin, and maybe your breakpoints start working.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Because you're no longer attaching to the shadow copy.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how to do that. How to get it to know that if that's gonna work automatically or not. I got a couple of calls to update, by the way, while I did that. So we know that awake is coming in. I'm now kind of leaning towards, okay, well, if I want to get data out, I can create something to send out the data. And put it out in a form or something along those lines, and we can start asking questions that way. At least that way, look, our sockets aren't working for some reason. We're not able to communicate. What else? Yeah, so we'd have to solve the other
right,
problems.
So your modding utils initialize will be currently hooking up a listen, expecting incoming stuff to happen. And then when that specific incoming stuff does happen, then it kicks out and says, okay, we're going to do the show creatures or whatever. So now we could just decide, well, we'll skip all of that. We won't worry about hooking up sockets. We're just going to call the same command and output something.
Yeah.
I guess there's then the question of where to output it to, because we're inside of a DLL at that point. I guess we could message box it on the screen again.
Scene loaded, by the way, I was looking at this. Look, there's some events in here. So one of the events that we're hooking up to is scene loaded right here. That's about the only event piece that I see in there. We go to start socket server. So that's what we call during initialize.
Okay, so what then happens on the actual on-scene loaded?
Let's check it.
So this is what we're going to theoretically. This is now currently executing after our message box. Well, not that we're doing that anymore, but yeah. And this is the bit that's putting that text on screen that says which plugins we have. Mods currently installed, and then Yeah.
Get UI text by name. Interesting, they're calling it text message pro.text. Yeah, realize, so on the screen loaded, okay. Okay.
Actually, I'm not so sure about what I said before. I think this is only talking about our own plugin. It says mods currently installed, but there's no for each going through any kind of a list.
Right, but it is, but this is modding utils. So anything that is built that uses this is going to go in
okay.
here. I think that's why they're checking to see if the text ends
And it is
with,
a plus equals as well. Yeah.
See, what's happening here is if it ends
So it's
with
sort of
size,
tack yourself on.
then they're saying, let's add to it this, and then otherwise we're going to tack our own name on, is what's happening.
So effectively, the first mod in gets to add the mods currently installed, and then each of them just tack their own name on the end.
Right.
Regardless, yes.
Yeah.
So this does effectively build that text. That's good.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm cool with that. What's going on inside there? Yeah, I think we got to. I think we need to. I don't know. It would be really nice if we could get this to a point where we can debug and control it. But I'm seeing multiple blocks that are. I'm kind of like. I don't know how to solve that. Right? It's unclear how to solve it. When we're like, for example, the socket communication is failing. I suppose we could do something with two apps. You were talking about telnetting instead. I guess the first thing we have to do is get a breakpoint. I guess maybe we go after this right now. We say, let's get socket API breakpoints to work. If we could get these breakpoints in this guy to work, if we get the breakpoint here, here, or here to work, right? That would be good.
Yeah.
Now, we need to
detach,
but we need to detach. We need to attach. If we're going to attach manually, we have to attach really quickly. Also, there's a
well, that's what I was saying about the. I think you can, if you were to use the message box to just stop execution because you haven't clicked OK, right? Then you don't need to connect quickly per se. You just need to connect or attach before you click the OK button.
You're saying put a message box up here at the very beginning, and then that's when we do our attach. Okay, cool. We're finally freaking here. Did I rebuild? I don't know if I rebuilt or not. Awake, I did not rebuild. Okay, hold on. I did not rebuild. And TaleSpire starting up with this problematic stuff. Let's see if we can shut it down. Hold on a second. Let me rebuild this. Okay, build succeeded. Let's start up TaleSpire again. Cody Roller says, look at the task manager. See if TaleSpire has any child processes. There's also this attach Unity debugger, and I'm thinking, I wonder if there's a Unity aspect to this too, because it's definitely
interesting.
Unity running. I wonder if that's like one of my secrets. I guess right now my goal is let's get the breakpoints to work. If I can get the breakpoint to work, then I'm inside TaleSpire. I hear the music, but I don't see. There it is. Gotcha. Okay. TaleSpire's here. Here's my task manager. That's what we're looking at. That's for you, Coding Gorilla. All right. So now we see what's going on here with the mods currently installed. Let's see what's going on with these pieces here. Can we attach now? I think it's this is what I'm going to go for. Let's try this first. Oh look, this is a good sign. I mean, it's an initial good sign that it's not, we can't stop here yet. Let's see if we can stop. Because I think we'll get an update. I saw 2 updates at least come in when we had message boxes there. If we can and these work, then that would indicate the shadow copying. They're copying the DLLs to another location before they load them. Okay.
Well, Studio is trying, which is good.
I think next Tuesday we record. You and I, Rory, record a bunch of videos for CodeRush options pages. We'll pick that up again
Fair enough.
instead of doing a live show. Rory has an interesting accent. Is he from Florida? Hey, Seth Juarez. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Seth.
Seth is like
Strangely, no.
Seth
Not from Florida.
Seth Juarez is the third coolest person I know, by the way. Number 1 is Clemens Fasters. That guy's super freaking cool. Number 2 is probably somebody I haven't met yet. I just know somebody cooler than Seth is out there. And then Seth is number 3. So congratulations, Seth. Louisiana? Is it Louisiana?
No.
No. Seth and I worked on a cool user interface when he was working at DevExpress for adding keys in space. Hey, well, Seth, while you're here, you want to take a look at my let's see if I can get this working. Do I have it working here? Let's see. Where is it? Boom, boom. Is that going to work? Fireball? Oh, yeah, it looks like it's going to work. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Look at the light on my face coming from that virtual fireball. Isn't that crazy, Seth? Look at that guy. It's just like,
Mark finally got those superpowers he was looking for.
move that right. Get that. Look at that right there. Oh, it's behind my hand all of a sudden. Oh, no, now it's in front of my hand. Oh, my gosh, and now it's gone, Seth. And look at the light, just goes back to normal, Seth. Isn't that funny? Look at it. And look at this, too. This is fun, too. I've got a whole bunch of these right here where I can kind of throw them out. Kind of like really fun. No sound
Mark's
effects with
just
those guys.
preparing his Vegas act for if this all goes wrong.
Yeah, this is my Vegas act. I used to go to Air Force Academy, Rory, and it's a military academy for folks here in the United States. And I used to, every day I would joke. I'd be like, is that a ventilation shaft over there? Guys, there's a way out. We can escape. Look at this. Why is this taking so long, man? What are you doing?
It's getting a lot of stuff.
Are we downloading? What are we doing?
I mean,
I don't even get it. I've got
my connection to you is slightly less than perfect, so it's kind of all a bit out of focus. But it occurs to me, are you downloading symbols for all the Unity things?
I might be. Maybe that's what's going on. This is all looking pretty good. So it looks like it's a download thing. I don't know. My upload speed looks good right now. Why is it when things are slowest that we always want to start up internet speed test and slow it down even further?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Which is clearly going to hammer it.
That's what we would do. That's what I want to do. Yeah, those fireballs are pretty fun. That kind of reminds me of the stuff Seth and I were working on when we were doing, we were creating this kind of, virtual kind of, being able to type in space. And we had this cool idea where as you go forward with your hands, you get to different letters of the alphabet, that sort of thing. Yeah, connect. Okay, hey, I'm hearing music. I don't, but now that this is not good.
Oh.
No symbols loaded, and yet it's right there. Mark's super cool socket API plugin is there. We cannot get a breakpoint. We cannot get a break, and we cannot get a breakpoint.
I'm trying to remember how that stuff works. Does it, if it's doing shadow copying, does it need to copy the PDB files that are generated for debugging to wherever it's executing it from?
You're asking,
of course, if they're not doing that and it is necessary, then...
You're asking the least informed person in the world on that question. Yeah, so unfortunately,
fair enough.
We cannot get a breakpoint on here.
We cannot debug the plugin in situ.
Yeah, that's a little bit a little bit tricky. So that plugin is here, generated there. That's the one we're trying to get a breakpoint in. The PDB is here. We never got a breakpoint when we ran it, indicating that TaleSpire is probably taking the plugin and copying it and putting it somewhere else. It's essentially not being loaded, I think, from Visual Studio's perspective. But when we put message boxes in here, we saw the message boxes come up. So it was, in fact, being loaded. This whole thing now seems to indicate that if I want to take an approach going forward on this, one, I got to get sockets working so I can communicate, right? I have to do that. Two, I need a way of seeing information, live while we're running, so I can explore it really quickly, right? I need to be able, because so much in the API has changed, I need to be able to go find things and understand what's changed and what the new API is. And because this is all entirely undocumented, right? Look at the lovely world that we have in front of us. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a show, Rory. That's what I feel like. I'm like, I'm kind of like, we're
kind of out of options for now, aren't we?
Yeah, we threw everything, including ourselves, at the wall, and ultimately we got, I'm gonna send you over to Obada. It's one of my favorite streamers out here. Ultimately we got the wall was thrown back at us, I think. Yeah, we have no breakpoints. We got to figure that out. I'll be thinking about it between today and tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Guys, everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Rory, thanks so much as always for your help. We'll see you next Tuesday. Is that right? Rory?
We'll do.
Or no, wait,
absolutely.
you and I Tuesday, I think. We'll see everybody next Wednesday. I think Tuesday,
That's
you and
right.
I, we're going to record.
Everybody else Wednesday, I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
We'll do it. Bye-bye.